Welcome to the SDA Housing Podcast, brought to you by NDIS Property Australia. Before starting this episode, we need to provide a general disclaimer. Information contained in this podcast is general in nature only. It does not take into account the objectives, financial situation, or needs of any particular person. You need to consider your financial situation and needs before making any decisions based on the information in this podcast. And you should consider seeking independent and professional advice for your personal circumstances. All right, let's begin.
Hello everybody, this is Minh from NDIS Property Australia. Just arrived at the Canberra Disability Expo in Canberra. Today is the 2nd or 3rd of September, I think. Just had a nice little 35-minute podcast with Raymond Hempstead from One Contact Property. It was the 3rd episode we've done in the last month with their organisation. Just to learn more about what they're doing in the SDA space with regards to funding, finance, SMSFs, head leases and whatnot. It was a great episode. Hopefully all the listeners can enjoy those 3 episodes coming out. Today's a regional expo in Canberra. It's all about the NDIS community in the local market. And I'm doing something different today, and that is just walking around with my mic and just talking to different providers, services, brands who are all involved in the NDIS space. So we'll go from there. First up we have Quest Care on our left here. A SIL provider. Let me say hello to them. Hello. Hello. How are you? Good, and you? Good. My name is Minh from NDIS Property Australia. From where, sorry? NDIS Property Australia. Okay. And I'm just walking around the show, just saying hello to everyone, seeing who's who. We have a podcast. Okay. Australia-wide podcast with listeners everywhere. And we're here to, I guess, bring more awareness to the Australian community about the NDIS space. Okay. Do you mind if I ask you a few little questions for 2 minutes about who you are? So who are you guys here at Quest Care?
We are Quest Care, and we have a sister company, Quest Training, as well. So we provide disability supports, which is our community support workers, our in-home support workers. We also have SLES, our school leavers employment support coordination, and we have a children's respite home.
Are you only based locally here in Canberra?
We are, yes. We do the outer Canberra regions, but mainly in Canberra.
And how long have you been operating in Canberra for now?
I believe for over 15 years. I've been with Quest for only... they did start with training, and I think they've just expanded from there.
Good.
So
well, good work. Are you enjoying the expo at the moment?
It's lovely. Yes, it's great to meet the community and promote ourselves.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck for everything today.
Thank you.
Okay. That was my first little session there. She was a little bit surprised when I walked over with a microphone and stuck it in her face, but that's the way it goes here, I guess. We have Higher Up here, another organisation called Higher Up. They are a platform service doing more about the companies out there like Mabel and Care Seekers and Higher Up, and they provide the support workers in the community around the NDIS and do that kind of stuff. So here we are. Another one, Asterisk PME. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. My name is Minh from NDIS Property Australia. We run a podcast on Spotify about disability, SDA housing. What do you guys do here at Asterisk PME?
We sell all this type of assistive technology equipment to disabled users. It's mainly scripted.
Is it all wheelchairs, or is there more technology behind here?
No, not only wheelchairs. We have standers, prams, strollers.
Oh, wow. This is really good. Are you guys only based in Canberra, or are you Australia-wide?
Australia-wide, yeah.
Nice. Has there been a lot of uptake and interest from participants on all these products?
Yeah, there has been.
Scope Home Access. Hello, boys. How are you?
How you doing?
Can I say hello to you on my mic?
Of course you can.
I'm doing a podcast.
Oh, nice, mate.
My name is Minh from NDIS Property Australia.
G'day, Minh.
We have a podcast called SDA Housing.
Right.
So we interview plenty of people around Australia on disability, SDA, SILs and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Modifications in the ACT. So just from a simple grab rail up to a full bathroom or a kitchen. So we've been around in the area for over 25 years. with the NDIS, it's only like the last 5 or 6 years. So, but it was just reaching out to find out what people need in their environment.
So is your business all about disability care and participants and whatnot?
Now, we also do aged care, through my aged care, and also home care packages. But even the social enterprise, if you've got a person who rings up, just wants a grab rail at the front access or even a handrail, we can actually do a full cost job as well.
Great. So what's your contact details and if participants in the area or people who want to understand more about what you guys do and whatnot?
Sure, there's a website you can go to, just scopehomeaccess.com.au. That's probably the easiest thing to get onto. Or you can give us a call, 1300 765 887, or if you're in the New South Wales, 42624900.
Oh, so you are in New South Wales area all around?
Yeah, so head office is actually in Dapto in the Illawarra, but we also service the Hunter, all of Illawarra, Shoalhaven, far south coast, Goulburn, Queanbeyan, and also the ACT.
Do you work directly with a lot of builders in those areas?
So the builders actually do work for Scope. So Brad beside me is a Scope builder.
Yes.
The only people we actually subcontract are tilers, plumbers, electricians, but all our builders are all employed by Scope.
Well, I'm moving on to Brad.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm Brad. I'm the construction coordinator at Scope.
Mate, tell me more about what you guys do as a construction business around all of New South Wales.
Yeah, so we do a lot of bathroom modifications. So major bathroom mods, whole new bathrooms, altar bathrooms, front access ramps, minor grab rails, handrails, working alongside occupational therapists to achieve the best outcome for the client.
What's the ratio of SIL construction to SDA housing construction that you guys do in the marketplace at the moment?
So we very minimal at the moment. So we
Minimal of which side?
No, so a lot of like the SIL and SDA housing, so our clients we have at the moment, they would contact us to see if they sort of have it already set up.
Yes.
And then they contact us if they want to change it for a certain client or they're adapting to, different needs.
Are you guys resourced to do new builds around New South Wales?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. We just modify existing homes for our clients.
So here's a question. If we had clients, if our investors, our listeners had land or builders that they're considering working with, would they need to engage an organisation like yours in the front end or the back end to help with mods? Because as we know, not all builders understand this area, and you guys are specialised in the area of disability products and whatnot. Is it better to engage you guys at the front end, or should you wait till it's completed before we bring you guys in?
So they would probably have a specialised designer at the start to make sure the home was suitable for SDA and it was designed around them. So at this point in time with Scope, we're based around modifying an existing home.
Yes.
But in the future, anything's possible.
The thing is, with as our listeners may know, SDA housing is a very niche area. There's not many builders doing it. The most of the work demand is really the SILs, the existing homes. And even that's not enough. So I think if anyone wants to have a social impact and ethical, impact on the community, and you can't afford SDA housing, look at these providers in the marketplace in the areas of the regional New South Wales area who may need to have, how would you describe it? Better access, better design, better modifications in their own home, existing home, which could be funded by the government, right? Speaking of which, can you explain to us in a little 1 minute summary, funding from government, mods, if a participant or investor with participants who want to get involved in this, how do they get their funding in place to get the mods done for these existing older homes?
Yeah, so an occupational therapist needs to do a needs assessment on what they recommend. So, and actually they need a home mods line item in their plan. Once they get a home mods line item in their plan, depending on what they want from a bathroom, we can do a builder's consultation with the occupational therapist to make sure the recommendations that he or she are giving are structurally viable. That's why we need a builder's consultation, and then they work in conjunction with the OT to make sure that a bathroom is functional for the client.
Great, guys. I think if we can, I'll go back to my office on Monday. Tomorrow, in Brisbane. I'll get my staff to contact you, and maybe we should another proper 40-minute podcast.
Perfect.
Talk about what you guys do, because we are very aggressive with the expansion into New South Wales. we know there's a big demand for New South Wales SILs and housing providers and SDA participants. And I think the path of least resistance is, while we wait for land and areas, I think modifications is the way to go moving forwards. Yeah, cool.
Well, that's what you want. You actually want to keep people safe in their own home. So yeah, that's the I suppose that's the goal that we want to achieve.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Oh, here we are. Nexus Human Services. Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Who are you and what do you guys do here?
Nexus is a disability employment provider. So basically, we assist people with disability looking for work.
Are you based in Canberra only?
Yes, we have few offices, 2 in Canberra, Harrison and Braddon, 1 in Queanbeyan. We have also offices in northern New South Wales and Queensland.
Queensland as well? Yeah. Whereabouts in Queensland?
Tweed Head and Gold Coast.
Nice. So are there many participants in the NDIS who are looking for work, employment?
Yes, there's quite a few because when they have payments with Centrelink, especially job seeker payment, parents next or youth allowance, if they have a disability, they have to be supported by a DIS provider.
Is it hard for participants to look for work in the market?
Depends on each individual. It's not. There's a lot available. We have actually employment shortage at this stage. If they want to work, they'll be able to get work.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time. What's the best way for participants in the community around Australia who are in those areas to contact your office?
Just call Google Nexus. We have a website, and just give us a call, and we'll make an information session for them.
And the website is?
nexushumanservices.com.au.
And the phone number is?
1-800-163-987.
Okay, so our next exhibitor is Haven Care Australia here at the Canberra Disability Expo. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. So who are you and what do you guys do?
So we are Haven Care Australia. We are a NDIS disability support provider. We specialize in mental health. So we do supported independent living. We have different houses in all over Canberra, and we're located in Brisbane as well. So we do respite. We have ILO. We do outreach services, and we have different group activities in Haven Care Australia, like singing, baking, cooking, walking, yoga, and tennis. So we do a little bit of support coordination and community nursing as well. And we are soon to open our day program, like within a month or so, for the school children and the young adult below 30. So, yeah.
Where?
We will be located in Chapman, near Western Creek. So our head office is in Chapman. So we will be having our day program over there.
Oh, nice. How long have you guys been around for in Canberra, and how long have you been around for in Brisbane?
We have just recently started in Brisbane. Like, we've started from the Disability Expo that happened in Brisbane in 2022. But in Canberra, so we have been, we're just new. Like, it's been like 2 years that we have just started in Canberra. Yeah.
It sounds good that you're doing all these activities for participants. How many participants do you look after in Canberra and Brisbane?
So we have 14 houses all over Canberra, and each houses have like 2 to 3 participants, and we have 2 big houses. So there are like 6 participants each, and we have like 50 participants on outreach, and we have more referrals coming in, and we have group activities. So nearly about, let's say, more than 100.
Wow. Is it hard managing so many participants all around the area and handling all the activities? And is it I'm sure it's fun, but is it a bit of a logistical challenge to get everyone involved in so many different things around the community?
Actually, we have a great team, so who work with us. We work cordially, so depending upon what needs to be done. So there is a separate team who looks after the SIL participant, and there's a separate team who looks after the outreach participants. So we divide work, so it is always good to be in a team, and then we work cordially with each other. So we have a clinical lead. His name is Justin, and he helps us deal with the participants, and he guides us very good. So we have a great team, yeah.
Oh, that's great. So if people want to know more about your organisation, what website do they go to?
So you have to go, if you'd like to know more about Heaven Care, you can always browse into www.heavencare.com.au.
And that's havencare.com.au.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, darling. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You have a lovely day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, our next exhibitor is Kathy from Hartley Life Care. Kathy, welcome.
Hello, how are you going?
Good, thank you. Tell us more about your organisation and what do you guys do and what makes you guys tick?
Okay, so we're a Canberra-based organisation, have been 60 years, we're in our 60th year. We do supported independent living, so 24-hour supports for people. We have 34 homes in Canberra, and we also do short-term accommodation, so respite services. We've done that right from the start, but we've actually just have a new house we've built, specialised house, and we also have a hydro pool, so hydrotherapy that goes out to the wider community as well.
What do you mean by a hydrotherapy pool going out to the wider community? What does that mean?
So it's not disability specific, so we do prioritise people with disabilities, but we will also go out to people, arthritis, other areas of, where people need the hydrotherapy. So we're not just keeping it one sort of area.
So you bring out a tub?
No, we have a purpose-built pool that is it's a smaller pool, but it's accessible to everyone, and it has and people use it for exercises, use it for physiotherapy, and have people coming to it quite regularly. So
Is this a mobile pool?
No,
No.
it's in a building. It's
Oh,
it's a building.
Gotcha.
Yes, so it's sitting in a building, and so we've revamped that, and it's fully accessible for people with disabilities, but also others. So
It must be very popular with the participants then.
it is. It's very popular, and it's booked out, and we're always looking for people and other times, and expanding that into other times, maybe possible weekend usage and not just weekdays. So that's been a good. We've enjoyed sort of getting that up and going again.
Yep.
So yeah.
In our podcast series, we talked a lot in our show a lot about respite accommodation for a while now. We understand it very well.
Yes.
We don't do it, obviously, but we understand it. Tell us, can you explain to our listeners why respite accommodation or that kind of service is so important to our participants, needs or mental health or whatever? Because there's a big difference between SDA housing, still services, but why was respite accommodation, respite services a very important part of your core business at the very start?
So look, it's something that it has many factors to it, and what we find though is not only it gives a family a break, but it actually gives the person we're supporting time to be away from the family and experience living away from the family. We almost see it as a bit of a transitional service sometimes for people. If people have been with us for a while, they really enjoy being away and find independence. They find, that they actually really maybe want to move out of home, and that's really good. That's been something we've seen people progress in our services, even from young teenagers, and they've moved out of home, and it's been a really much smoother transition for them. But it's also giving families that opportunity to have, and we actually, our respite services are for really quite high complex needs as well. So that's an area where it's to trust others to do it is very difficult. But we're very trained, and our staff are trained in those high complex as well. And it just gives people, and it actually brings people together who are staying with us to have friendships, and they develop relationships with others. And it is actually, we've seen so much progression through the years of people moving from respite through to other homes, and then families are comfortable and feel confident that they're well looked after, and they can go away and not worry about things.
I can only assume that for you guys being around this long and the services you provide are unique, there will be very low attrition, turnover of participants in your business?
Yes. We have a very stable base of people, and it's growing all the time. we have a lot of inquiries coming through because we being a Canberra-based organisation, I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. We understand Canberra and we have, in the wider community, we have a lot of involvement. So, but yeah, I think people end up trusting our service, and it's really been lovely to see people stay and see them grow up, and so it's and we're growing all the time. There's a demand. Yeah.
I assume with the constant inquiries coming in, you're only limited by the housing accommodation you actually have. So without houses, there is no ability to bring intake of more participants, right?
Yep. So that's true, but we actually have also good relationships with some community housing providers. So we are often approached with new houses to say, we have a house here, would you have people to move in? And we work with families then and have connections, people waiting for housing with us as well and wanting those supports. So that can be problematic. It is a problem, but we're lucky. Once a year we tend to get a new house and be able to work with everyone to find people that match, can move in together. But yeah, and look, our respite services, we have 4 beds, so that can be quite a demand, but we have space and we try and work with all the families to give them whatever that service is they need. But yeah, housing's a challenge, but we have built some of our own places as well, so we do own a few. So that's always part of what we look at as well as growth. Is that something we would keep? We are doing quite a big rebuild at the moment of a current house. We've pulled it down and rebuilding it, so to open it up to other people. So there's lots of things happening all the time. So
one last question. I don't see this very often, but why do you have an annual report on your table to show the community?
We're having that because it actually, even though we have brochures and things, it actually gives more in-depth detail about what our services are, because we do have a fundraising leg as well. Yes. So we have a market that happens and has been for 30 years here in Canberra, so hall markets, and we have a cycle challenge that happens every year, which is quite a major fundraiser in the community. So a challenge, they ride to Kosciuszko. So our annual report really just gives a really big overview of all the organisation. So
wonderful. Kathy, if our listeners want to learn more about your organisation, what website or phone number or website can they go to learn more about you?
Yep, so we have a website which is Hartley Life Care. And
how do you spell that?
Hartley, Life Care, LIFECARE. So 2 separate words, Hartley Life Care. And so we have a very good website that gives all the information on our services.
Dot what at the end?
Sorry. .org.au.
HartleyLifeCare.org.au. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Kathy.
Yes, lovely. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hello, James. How are you?
I'm well today.
So this is AIM Choices, AIIM Choices. Who are you guys? What do you do?
We do 3 things and 3 things only. We do NDIS applications, so applying for the NDIS. We do plan management, and we do support coordination.
So NDIS applications meaning helping participants apply to the NDIS for funding. Is that correct?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been around for now?
Started in 2017. The big difference with us and most other organisations, we've got staff that can speak over 20 different languages.
Wow.
So we help people where English isn't their natural tongue.
Do you have a lot of participants on your books?
Depends what you call a lot. We're big enough, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. How long have you guys been around for now in Canberra?
In Canberra, a couple of years.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what do you enjoy most about what you guys do here?
This weekend is just enjoy about meeting people and hearing their stories and their journeys. And we do that all the time. Just listen and talk to people.
That's great. I mean, looking after people in the community, helping them move forward in their process is very important, yeah?
Yes. We're all about relationships. So with us, you have a direct phone number to one individual. You don't go through call centres and you don't go through reception. You can just dial direct to that one person and speak to the same person all the time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, James.
No worries. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Cheers.
Enjoy your day.
Okay, so we're here now with an exhibitor called Skipper Care Australia. And Kagan, hello.
Hey, how you going?
Good, mate. So what do you guys do and what are you all about? And tell me more about the organisation.
Yeah, so look, we really focus on that personalised disability support. So what we really specialise in is finding the right supports for the participants that need it. So whether that's one-on-one sort of in-home and community type supports, we're also running a living and work skills program, which is really focused around teaching those skills around independence to give people the opportunity to become as independent as possible. We also do short-term accommodation and supported independent living as well.
So one of you girls just told me just then you guys have about 80 support workers and about 150 participants over the last 150 years. How has it been to grow from the start to where you are now? Are you at your peak? Is there room for more improvement? Because you're not just here in Canberra, you're New South Wales and Goulburn, I heard she mentioned. Tell us more about the long-term future of the business.
Yeah, so at the moment, we started in Canberra. We've been around for about 6.5, going towards 7 years, with the goal. So when Beck sort of first came up with the idea, it was to help one or two people to navigate the journey. We've got a son with an intellectual disability, so it was to sort of try and help families just to find out where to go, what to do when you need support, and the sort of different opportunities that were out there. And that was the goal from the outset. Just one or two families. I said now, nearly 7 years later, we've got over 80 staff, 170 participants that we support each week, and it really has just grown with the goal of trying to work with individuals to make sure they get the supports that they need. We don't just send anyone out. We don't have a great big pool of people that just, we flick out each week. It is about that continuity of support. So when we find the right supports, those supports stay in place, and we keep them. So you get the same person turning up, who's coming each week. It's not some random person at the door. So it really is about building those networks around people. Yes. As you said, we've grown outside, so we now support people in Goulburn. We've supported people out through Yass and different areas around Canberra. And with the key goal now over the next sort of 12 months is to expand outside of Canberra. So we're looking at different opportunities up and down the East Coast. We're providing supports, and we've got the ability to grow into down the South Coast, with also goals up around in Queensland, Victoria, and different areas through New South Wales.
Wonderful. Many still providers would often say, we're all different, we're bespoke, we offer good service. And it's nice to hear, but as an outsider, we don't really understand what it takes to run a business with so many support workers and look after so many participants. Other than saying the word continuity, what is it that you actually do different to your peers in the marketplace?
So both Beck and myself, we own and run the company, and we've actually got a recruitment background. So for more than 10 years, I worked in recruitment around IT and management. So we'd have large government departments or large organisations come to me and say, I need someone with this skill set, and they've got to fit in with this sort of culture of our organisation. So we sort of took that model and went, well, instead of finding someone for the ATO, a manager for the ATO, why can't we use the same process but find a support worker for an individual? So when we first speak with someone who comes on board with us, we sit down with them and get a really good understanding of what they're looking for. Not only in the sort of skills and support that the people need to be able to provide, but the sort of personality that they want. What are their interests? What are their hobbies? And how can we sort of integrate the supports with those hobbies? So from there, we will go out and find a support worker that fits with that. So if we don't have someone on our books that's going to be the right fit, we'll actively recruit for that. So when we're looking for a support worker, it'll be, we might be looking for a young male support worker who's interested in soccer and who's available on a Wednesday afternoon. And that's the sort of person we look for. So we will actually go out and find the right person for the individual that they need. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer if we don't have them on our books to get the supports in place, but I'd much rather be able to provide a good support worker who I'm confident is going to, one, be able to provide the supports and have that really strong connection with the individual, but someone who also is going to hang around and stay as well.
Mate, I know I want to ask you a question that you may not want to answer, but the answer will be the proof of the pudding is how great a business you are. How much turnover do you have for participants, and how much turnover of staff do you have in your business?
So, I mean, staff...
And why would they move on?
Well, yeah, so look, staffing-wise, it's a transient community within the staffing community, so we do have turnover. I think we have a lower turnover than what would be, I guess, the average. But, do you know, sometimes it's not the right fit. People come in and we have really high expectations of our staff. And so often we'll be sitting there and we'll go to the staff, you can't do that, or this is what we expect from you. And they go, well, I'm not interested in that, and they'll leave. And so often the turnover is usually in that sort of first 6 months. We've got some people here today who have been with us for more than 5 years. So, if it's a good fit, then it tends to last. But, yeah, look, there's always people who, who interview really well, who go through the screening process, and then when they come on board and they realise the expectations that we have of them, I personally don't think they're high expectations, but there's some people out there who think it's unreasonable that, we expect them to turn up at a shift on time, or if they commit to a shift that they expect to stay in there. And again, same thing with the participants. So, we're not the right fit for everybody. We provide a certain type of support, and sometimes it's not the best for people, and that's okay, and we'll help you find the right supports if that's the case.
Totally understand. Now, what about attrition of participants? Is there much at all? And why would a participant leave such a great organisation as yours?
Well, as I said, it's the same thing with the staff. We're not for everybody. We certainly try our best to fit in and work with people in the way that they need, but for some people it's not the right fit. We're also, the sort of support workers that we have, we might not have the right support worker for what the participants are looking for, and that's okay. But we also have really good relationships with other organisations, so you might come to me and say, I need someone with this skill set, and I say, look, that's just not what we do.
Can you give me an example?
Really high care needs. That's not our bread and butter. That's not what we really specialise in. So if you come to me and you say, I need someone with really high care needs, it's 2-to-1 support, really challenging behaviours, or really high personal care where they need to have stoma care and all the rest of it, I'll sort of say, look, that's not really what we do. I mean, I could probably find the people, but it's not what we're great at. But I know these organisations who are, so we'll help you working with them as well.
Yeah, I think providers with nursing backgrounds and nursing staff would be more suitable for those high care needs, correct?
Yeah, definitely. And again, that's where we sort of say, hey, look, go talk to these people because I know they've got them and they'll be good at it. But, we know where we're good. We know what we're good at, and we sort of stick in with that.
So we go all around the country in New South Wales and Victoria, all the expos and events. So you're expanding to Victoria and New South Wales.
Yeah.
What are those areas or regions, pockets going to be, specifically those areas?
Well, I mean, again, because of the model that we run, it really is around finding the support worker for the individual. So if someone comes to me and says, hey, this is where I live, I need a support worker who does this, then we'll go and we'll look in that area for that right person. So the model and the operation that we run, we can do that anywhere, and that's what we're looking to do. So, it really is that thing. If you need supports and you need you want someone who's going to be really picky with who we hire and making sure we get the right supports in place, then give us a call and we're happy to see what we can do. And if we can't, then we'll let you know.
Wonderful. What's the best way for our listeners or participants or families out there now who are listening to our podcast? Best way to contact your organisation?
So, I mean, you can give us a call. The number is, it was 02, because we're Canberra-based, 6103 0338. Or you can visit our website, which is simply just skippercare.com.au. We've got contact information on there. Send us a support, send us an email, which is support@skippercare.com.au.
Any final words of advice for any participants who are listening now as to if they're unsure of whether they're getting the best kind of care or unhappy? Any advice to them out there?
Look, it's what I say to everyone. If you're not happy with what you've got, have a look around. See what else is out there. There's so many great providers out there, and some people are scared that if they say something that people are going to pull supports. It really is. If you're not happy or you want some changes made, ask the question. And if the provider won't provide that, look at other providers that are out there, because there's plenty out there, and there's so much that, it's a catchphrase of the NDIS. It's choice and control. You get to choose.
Exactly. Kagans, thank you so much for your time. Can I have your business card at all?
Yeah, most definitely. I'll grab you one from...
Thank you so much, mate. Awesome. And here we have another person we've met in the past doing a podcast with our office. Blitzit Plan Manager, how are you?
Thank you. How are you?
We meet again.
Yes, we do. How are you?
Good day. How's your day?
Very good. Very
So
busy.
we finally published your episode a few days ago.
I know. I did see the email and I did listen to it. Very good. Thank you for that.
Thank you for your time.
That's okay.
How are you finding the Canberra market, the Canberra Expo here?
It's really good. A lot of foot traffic. It's really nice to meet participants, connect with providers. So it's been really good. I've had lots of fun.
And you were in Sydney. So do you always go to all the events around Australia, everywhere?
Pretty much. There's not many that we don't go to. We definitely do all these Disability Expo ones. We are Australia-wide, so we try to get to as many as we can. There kind of is only me doing my role, so there's only so many I can get to. But yeah, no, they're really fun. We like
You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to attend a SDA conference in Hobart in November. You should come along to it.
Okay. All right. You need to send me an email with information.
Well, I will, but it's called sdaconferences.com. It's all about SDA. So it's housing providers, civil providers, developers, builders, architects. A little bit different crowd than what you're used to. But I mean, all these people we come across in this conference, they all work with CILs and other groups as well. So it may be of interest for you guys to come along to just to network and bring the brand up there.
I'd definitely be interested in coming. I'll wait for your email to come through and I'll be there.
Okay, so here we are at DICE for Diversity Gaming. How are you?
We're really good.
Now, tell us more about who you are and what you guys do here.
DICE for Diversity Gaming, we do social inclusion through roleplay. So we use Dungeons and Dragons as a platform to teach social and communication skills. And we do it in a safe and fun environment where people can learn skills without understanding their learning skills.
What type of participants do you look after in your organisation?
We also run My Little Pony as a role-play game. So I would say 90% of our adventurers have autism, and then probably 10% have other issues that aren't enough to get them onto NDIS. So things like trauma, and other kids have huge anxiety, but they don't actually have any diagnosable other issues. So we cater for those people as well, and we've seen massive changes in some of our adventurers. Some of the kids have gone from being hermits in their room to now going back to school. So,
and this is simply because of the games and the environment you put them into and helping them get out of their shell?
Yeah, we've written a very deep and specific program that we run, and it works on a whole bunch of aspects of social and teamwork and communication skills and stuff. So doing that has helped these kids come out of their shells, learn to talk to people, widen their social networks, and just like we've changed lives. And that sounds really contrite, but it is what it is.
That's great. Good to hear you doing so much. Apart from kids, do you see the same kind of results with younger adults with the service and product you provide to the community?
We only have one adult group, but we've seen big improvements in their social skills and their confidence with going into social situations. But after this weekend, we're expecting a lot more adult groups. So we'll run groups from all the way from sort of 6 years old for My Little Pony, and then 8-year-old for D&D, all the way through to adults. So our oldest adventurer so far has been 62.
Why don't more businesses or more community groups focus on delivering this kind of service to the community for participants?
I don't know. This service grew out of my children playing and their social skills, because they were very socially awkward. We'll call them social hand grenades, where you'd be having a conversation, they'd step in between and say, "Oh, my dog's purple," and then walk off, and everyone sort of stops and goes, "What was that?" So my kids started playing, their social skills and understanding of conversations grew, and then we wrote a program, and then we trialled it and adjusted it and wrote it again, and trialled it and adjusted it, wrote it again. And we put a lot of effort into doing what we do, and there are some social groups that do this kind of stuff, but they don't do a lot of scaffolding. There's not a lot of support for the people who actually play, and D&D is not easy, especially when you first start. So we've made it a lot easier to play, focus on the social side and the adventure, and we've had great results.
And that's wonderful. Mate, congratulations for what you've achieved here in your organisation. If people want to hear learn more about what you guys do here at DIS for Diversity Gaming, how do they read more or find out more about what your company does?
We have a website, dicefordiversity.com.au, and we also have a Facebook page that gives out details of what we're doing at the moment. We need to do more social, but the website has information on what we do.
And thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Here we are, another exhibitor here, Leisure Options Holidays in the Canberra Disability Expo. I'm with
Gary Elliott.
Gary. Who are you guys and what do you do here?
So we're Leisure Options. We provide supported holidays and travel for people with intellectual and or physical disabilities. We've been doing it for 28 years. We're actually a licensed travel agency, but we're not open to the public. We don't do any other form of travel for anyone else other than this unique market.
This is really a niche area, isn't it?
Very much so, yes. Don't tell anyone.
I won't. Delete this podcast, please. What kind of trips, what do you do? What do participants look forward to when they book a trip with you guys?
Okay, so we do local, interstate and international trips. About 80% of our holidays are in small groups, so around 8 or 9 people and 2 to 3 staff, depending on the support ratios of each person. Our most popular holiday is definitely the Gold Coast. And internationally, apart from cruising, which is very, very popular, Disneyland is the next chosen.
Wow. So in order for participants to go on these trips, they need to have short-term accommodation respite funding, or they tap into their core funding to fund it all?
Correct, yeah. Core funding is predominantly where most of people obtain their funding, yes.
What do people love about these trips, and what do they not like about these trips?
Well, hopefully they don't dislike anything about the trips, but look, what they like is what you and I like, though. They get excited that they're going away, meeting new people, exploring new destinations and participating in activities that they're going to love and enjoy. So, yeah, and obviously going out for dinner a lot as well.
You guys are based where?
Based in Melbourne, but we have staff in several parts of Australia, so there's nowhere where we can't accommodate someone.
Apart from Gold Coast, what's number 2, number 3 destinations?
Cairns is fairly popular, and Tasmania is also very popular in summertime.
So really is the lifestyle destinations, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Same as what some of the destinations that you and I love going to.
Which means during winter when it's really cold, they're not really traveling. So there's an off-season and peak season, isn't there?
Yes, our June, July, we spend all of that time on the Gold Coast. We run about 7 consecutive holidays. And the next peak season is December and January, where we utilise areas both in Victoria, Tasmania, less up on the Gold Coast because it's a little bit too warm, and a few music festivals.
How long do the trips go for?
Anything from 4 days to 16 days. On average, 6 days.
Is there a limit? I mean, let's say, I do understand that participants may have 4 weeks a year of funding, but my limited understanding is it's 2 weeks at a time is max. Is that, or could you go for a month? Is that possible?
You can go for a month, but I don't know that you could afford to go for a month.
I understand. Yes.
Yeah, so look, the most we've done, we just recently did one for 19 days. And that's getting to the point of possibly not going too much further than that, because you've got to remember they've got a staff person with them that entire time, so they're not getting a break at all.
That was one person for 19 days?
Yes, one person for 19 days.
Where do they go?
On a cruise.
So with these group trips to Gold Coast for 8 days, for 7 days, for example, 8 participants going in one little group, as an example, how many carers go along for the trip?
If it's a holiday that's designed for independent people, we'll have 8 travellers and 2 staff. If it's a holiday designed to take people who might have a walker or need a bit more personal support, we will end up taking 8 or 9 clients or travellers and 3 staff. So it's based on the ratio. So we have 1 to 4 level of support, 1 to 2 level of support, and 1 to 1 level of support.
Is it a bit too much to have 3 people on the clock, 24 hours, looking after 8, 9 people? I mean, surely they need a break, sleep. I mean, yes?
Yes, that's a good question. Our staff, day staff, will sleep during the night, so they don't get up overnight to help. If someone needed assistance overnight on a regular, ongoing basis, We employ another staff person who is called an active night staff person.
Yes.
Their job is to stay up all night and provide the necessary support.
Any words of advice for any participants or families out there who have never heard of this kind of service and have thought, well, I'll look after my child for the last 30 years every day and that no one knows any better? The funding's there. The opportunity's there.
Yes.
And we all need a break. Every one of us. The carer needs a break, the participant, and also the family. Any words of advice to people who've heard about this but don't know what to do or how to go about it? What's your words of advice here?
Whether it's with Leisure Options or some other travel provider, I would engage with them and get to understand the process, to get on board and understand how holidays can be utilised under your NDIS package. And then the world is your oyster after that. There's nowhere that you cannot go. Everything is possible.
But how do people get in contact with your organisation? What's the best way to find out more about this information here?
They can contact us on our website, so leisureoptions.com.au, or via our 1300 number, and or email as well.
Mate, thank you so much for your time.
All right, thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate. Okay, here we are at Higher Up, and we have Larry here. Larry, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I know who Higher Up is, but tell us more about our listeners, who Higher Up is and what do you represent and why do you exist in the community here?
Yeah, so Higher Up was actually co-founded by siblings Jordan and Laura O'Reilly because they had a younger brother, Shane, with cerebral palsy, and they witnessed support workers coming in and out of their home, and sometimes the support was great and sometimes it wasn't, but the bottom line was there was no choice or control for Shane or his family and who supported him. So essentially now Higher Up is Australia's largest NDIS registered platform, and what we have is we've got kind of two sides of the platform. So we've got NDIS participants and their account managers on one side of the platform. We've got disability support workers on the other side of the platform. Both sides of the platform will build a profile, and then through the platform people can connect up based on shared interests, availability, and if you need different skills to support somebody. So say for example you want a support worker to support you with gardening, but you also need someone who's trained in peg feeding, you can filter down and search for people who meet that criteria.
So this model is different from the rest of your peers out there?
Yeah, so the reason that we're different is because, so firstly we're NDIS registered, which means that we adhere to the NDIS quality safeguards. It means we can provide restricted practices if required as well. We also employ our support workers, so that's really awesome because it means that there's sort of a set rate for service. And
Employ as in employees?
Yeah. So our support workers are employees of Higher Up. So we take care of tax, insurance, super and payroll, all the good things, and we provide training as well.
And your peers don't do this?
So a lot of them operate in contractor model, which is quite different. So it means support workers need to have their own ABN, and you don't necessarily know if support workers are going to have insurance as well, which is really important. You want to make sure everyone's protected.
So how many support workers are on your platform and how many participants are on your platform then?
So we connect about 12,000 people per month. So that's 6,000 support workers and 6,000 clients who connect up through Higher Up every month. And we're all across Australia. So we've got people who are connecting in the Northern Territory, a lot of people connecting on the east coast of Australia, but yeah, in Tassie, South Australia, Western Australia as well.
That's a pretty big business.
Yeah, we've got big growth goals as well. So keep an eye out for us in the future. We're looking to grow.
So in Australia, there's about 535,000 participants, and you have 6,000 there. Surely there's a limit to how many participants your model can take, or is there unlimited?
Well, look, I mean, it really depends on supply and demand, right? So, the number of support workers are on the platform, the number of people with disability we can essentially support. So, that's sort of what I'd say to that question. Okay.
Do you guys, so is this, and the other providers work in SIL, ILO, and Respite and all that kind of stuff. Do you guys do that as well?
So we have Higher Up Homes, which has recently launched, and we're doing some work in the ILO space, which again, as you know, is quite new. But yeah, our team's always open to having a discussion as well. So
only ILO homes?
Yes, only ILO at the moment.
Can you please explain to our listeners what that means?
I'm actually probably not the best person to explain that.
She means no comment. She hasn't been trained in that division yet, yeah?
Well, I guess ILO is different, right? Because you get the opportunity to design and explore a circumstance that's going to work best for you, and then you've actually got the implementation phase that's going to work to best roll that out.
I think what you mean, if you can correct me, is still houses are more like the carers with 2 or 3 participants there, and ILO is more of an independent living. So you might have a live-in carer, you might have family coming over all the time, you may have a carer coming in 1 or 2 hours a day. So it's a bit of a flexible model to promote independent living.
Yeah, totally. So the way that the team have kind of explained it to me is that, so you can do that sort of through core supports, but the way that ILO is a little bit different is that you've got somebody who really kind of oversees and manages those supports. So essentially what that means is, a parent, if you're living at home, would know when you need to change a toothbrush, but support workers might not be looking out for that sort of stuff. So through ILO, essentially, what we look to do is we look to set up an arrangement that's going to be best for you. So that might be a roommate arrangement, that might be that you've got support workers sort of coming into your home and you live with a friend, but you've also got people who are responsible for, I guess, those more... it's not typically like support, it's more kind of intuitive support requirements, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. So what division of Higher Up do you work in?
I work in the community engagement team, so I'm the community engagement manager for New South Wales and
all of New South Wales?
Yeah, New South Wales and the ACT.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
So what do you enjoy most about your job?
Oh, I love being able to come out and meet the community. It's lovely. We've been in Canberra for a couple of days now for the Canberra Disability Expo, and we did some drinks with our community last night, and it's just so lovely. Again, being a national platform, a lot of people think that there's only a couple of us, but there's 300 people behind the scenes, and so, it was lovely to actually connect with people and to put faces to names.
So there are 300 staff in Higher Up supporting the 6,000 support workers who are supporting the 6,000 participants.
Yes, that's it.
Wow. What's the long-term goal of Higher Up?
We are keen to have 25,000 active users by 2025, which is it's a very ambitious goal. But, I think the model, the thing that I love most about the model is that it really promotes choice and control. And that's something, again, that, the NDIS has really enabled. But a platform like Higher Up is doing its absolute best to be able to enable that as well for participants.
Wonderful. So if any of our listeners or participants out there who are looking for more understanding of the business, Higher Up, where do they go to find out more information?
So they can go to higherup.com.au. If you want to receive our Expo discount, you can go to higherup.com.au/Expo.
What does Higher Up discount mean?
So the incentive essentially, this is for users who we meet through the expos or through sort of other channels. But essentially, if you sign up, you get 2 hours of support free on the platform covered by Higher Up, or as a support worker, you get a $25 bonus, which I like to think of as like 5 free coffees.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'm here at the Disability Trust exhibitor booth. I'm with Julia. Julia, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So who are you guys and what do you do?
We are a service provider for participants with NDIS plans, self-funded. Ashley and I do the service delivery side of things, so we accommodate shared independent living, supported social groups, SIL, so short-term accommodation for adults and under the age of 18, so we've got social groups. Over 18 camps where they head off down to Berry and have a weekend full of fun activities down at the beach, but a whole lot of day programs. We also have our Score Raiders team that train every Monday and do some exhibition games in front of our Canberra Raiders team, and we meet up with our Score Dragons team out of the Illawarra.
Wow, I see here traineeship opportunities, school leaver stuff. That's a lot of stuff you guys do here.
We do a lot. So the head office is basically down in Illawarra, but we have services from Illawarra through southwest Sydney up to the Gold Coast down to the far south coast.
Wow. And how many participants do you look after?
We have around 300 participants in the ACT Queanbeyan region.
But Australia-wide though? I mean, Gold Coast, New South Wales, Illawarra?
It'd be over thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands. We have support coordination that is out to Dubbo, into Melbourne, into the Gold Coast. We have trusted travel that takes people on holidays all over the countryside and overseas.
Is trusted travel a division of the organisation?
Yes, it is.
It's a
It's part of the Disability Trust, but it sort of stands alone, along with our clinical support team and our supported coordination team. all under the umbrella of Disability Trust, but all kind of work individually as well. So
That's wonderful. So if people want to learn more about your organisation, what's the website or phone number?
the disabilitytrust.org.au is our website. There's a whole lot of information on some of the brochures we have here. We have the QR codes that they can just phone in and link in straight into that organisation.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you are subscribed and following us so you can keep in the loop with all of our upcoming episodes. We would really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star rating, a written review, and to share this podcast with those that could benefit. Until next time, catch you on the next episode.